Hello, hello, and welcome back. Welcome to Ancient Gaming. I'm Zilla, and this is my channel where we play video games with ancient studies content and talk about it. Playing with me today is...
Tortoise. That's me.
That's him. We are trying a new sound setup today, so if you have any trouble hearing anything or if you're hearing any new echoes, please let me know. I'm gonna try and check it afterwards to make sure. In general, welcome if you are new, and welcome back if you have been here before. If you are watching live, thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to hear from you in chat. And for those of you watching on video, thanks for checking in. This is, I believe, part 10 of our playthrough of Hades 2. If you want to go back and watch all of the Hades 2 videos, you can find all of them, well, you can find whatever Twitch allows me to keep up. I'll leave it up as long as possible, but also you can find all of my videos on my YouTube channel. That's Zilla's Athenaeum. You can find that and all of my socials and stuff down in the frame below. Oh dear, did we go offline again? Well, that's going to be a bit of a pain. Well, I hope that it keeps streaming cleanly today. I did try to fix that, but maybe I have the wrong issue. Technology, it is mysterious, but I hope that you will enjoy the show. So, for those of you who are joining fresh and don't mind being spoiled, I will give a brief summary of where we are. We are playing Melinoë, the daughter of Hades and Persephone, the younger sister of Zagreus, the protagonist of Hades 1, trying to free her family and, at this point, Olympus as well, from the tyranny of the newly reawakened titan Kronos, here conflated with Chronos, time. So we're fighting both down and up, trying to get everybody free. We are here in the Crossroads, a place that is sort of a liminal space between everything, ruled by the Titaness Hecate, the Titan of witchcraft. The line between Titan and God is really mostly generational. So one thing that Tortoise asked while we were setting up is, why are everybody's feet on fire? And I don't think that there is actually anything canonical about it. I was certain that there was something in the record about Hades being portrayed with his feet on fire, but I could not find it when I looked. So I think it must be a way of representing the underworld curse, as it were, that keeps the bloodline of Hades bound to the underworld. But it might be a reference to the river of fire that could only happen in the underworld as well. So that does appear to be the case for all three: Hades, Zagreus, and Melinoë, and nobody else. Just like the Red Eyes. So, here we are in the Crossroads, prepared, I think, to make an ascent.
I want to go around and see what people have to say.
My task began immediately following reports that Kronos found a way to gain the upper hand against Olympus. We just didn't know which sort of way. But now I think I do. Your sisters, the three fates, he got them, didn't he? Is that why you're here?
You ask while making clear to me that you already know. I ought to have been there when it happened. Perhaps the Fates knew I lacked the strength to protect them, so they protected me.
Ah, yes,
How did he find
the
them?
Fates. The
What
Fates.
does he want from them?
This game does an
I don't know how
interesting...
he found them. Few beings with knowledge of their whereabouts exist. As to what he wants from them, and this is a conjecture of my own, surely he'll try to influence their weavings from here on.
Oh.
The Fates are kind of a fascinating portrayal in this game. It is trying to say something about fate versus free will. I'm not entirely sure how to interpret what they ended up saying. I do believe that what they're trying to say is that there is a balance to be had, and that perhaps fate is an outdated concept.
Your mother Nyx, my lord. I saw her lately in a nightmare or a dream. She was very beautiful, and she was unharmed, I think.
I should look up who the voice actor is for Charon.
That's Logan Cunningham.
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? That must have been very fun.
Melanue is referring to a vision she had at the end of last session where she saw Hades hand baby Melanue off to Hecate and then get captured by Kronos along with the rest of the House of Hades.
Yes. Nyx and the rest appear to be frozen in bubbles of time.
Again. Had one of my dreams, Nem. Your mother was there. And my father. He showed concern for her. She was under the Titan's spell.
Mother Nyx made a mistake in trusting Hades with so much of the underworld. This realm was never his by right, not till the fates decided otherwise. Mother worked hard. They were probably just trying to send her help.
You're saying the fates granted my father authority over the realm of the dead just to give Nyx a hand with all her responsibilities?
That's right.
Huh.
So that's an interesting interpretation. Canonically, in the Greek myths we have, particularly Hesiod, the realm of the dead really doesn't exist until Hades does. He is synonymous with the land of Hades. And this is because mortality doesn't exist until mortals do, right? So there's no need for a place for all the shades of the mortals to go. There is some intriguing research, I will say, that indicates that perhaps Hades himself as a separate deity wasn't around at the formation of Hades the place, and in fact that it was ruled by a despoina, a mistress, the Iron Queen. That's a later name. This is not Nyx. This is Persephone. Persephone we often think of as, you know, the captured maiden, the rebirth and spring, but actually she was worshipped as the queen of the dead. And in the myths you will see this reflected when Orpheus goes, or Aeneas goes to the underworld. She is just as important and just as dread, perhaps even more so, than her husband. So there's some thought among scholars that perhaps Hades is sort of an outgrowth of, okay, well, we want a king, not just a queen. Which would put it more in parallel with other religions in the region, you know, Ereshkigal or Inanna, Ishtar in you know, the Middle East, things like that.
Our shades have proved unable to approach the House of Hades, so they've no reports about the way the Titan fights. I'm afraid you're on your own for that one, Goddess.
Oh, I can give you a report to myself. He looks rather frail, but he's quick. His scythe has significant reach, and he can freeze me at a moment's notice, but only for so long. And his forces are present to ensure I'm outnumbered.
Freeze you, meaning he tries to stop you using time, but can't hold you for long. Just as the Good Witch thought then, It means his power over you is limited. You're the one that can't be stopped, not him.
It hasn't felt that way to me as yet.
An interesting balance. Have they addressed why he can't freeze her for long at this point?
No, because he's certainly able to freeze everyone else for
Yeah.
an indefinite amount of time. Could be that Melanue has just been training for this, and a lot of this is hand-waved by, oh, witches can do whatever they want.
Plot armor. Anyone else to see before we make an incantation?
Don't think so. So, the moment we've been waiting for. This incantation.
Now, my blood is bound by fate, yet blood runs free. Release me from this realm. Become my king.
An
So
incantation
might
to
Let's try the surface one more time.
make it so that she doesn't die after a few moments on the surface. This should be fun. I have been looking forward to this.
So, gonna do a little bit of unlocking to see what the last
Ooh,
card
yes.
looks like.
Let's see what the next card is.
So there's Persephone in all her glory. And-
Persephone in green on a throne of Hades, and then Hades himself, it looks like, in the bottom corner. Yes. Hades with Cerberus to one side. 5 skulls instead of 3, which is interesting. That's not a it's not an iconography they've used before. If you go back up to Persephone, you can see that she has 3 skulls at the top, and that's kind of how we saw Zagreus portrayed with the 3 skulls like that, and of course Cerberus has 3 skulls. I guess
Zagreus clearly has 3
dog skulls. 3 not how dog skulls actually look dog skulls.
Yeah, dog skulls with ears?
Yeah.
Question mark?
So Persephone's are wreathed with laurel wreaths and human, and matched by her 3 pomegranates down at the bottom. But Hades has 5, which is new. He also has 3 pomegranates and a 3-headed dog, Cerberus, right there. And he appears, honestly, much like he did in the previous game here. You can see even now his feet are a different color than the rest of him to indicate they're fiery. But his throne looks pretty much exactly the same as Persephone's. Albeit Persephone's actually has a laurel wreath on it and his doesn't. I don't know what that's about. He's wearing the laurel wreath.
Well, Hades is very much into, like, austerity.
He is. These games, so there's one piece of regalia that Hades is always associated with is the Helmet of Invisibility. And we don't actually see a helmet of invisibility in these games. Instead, he just has the power to turn invisible for a few seconds. Something that Zagreus actually can copy, eventually.
Well, I can't take this weapon because I haven't unlocked it yet, so what will I take instead?
The flames.
The flames.
They're appropriate for a witch of the underworld.
Commander?
So how's it going with that giant mutt? Still up to no good in the morning fields? He's probably just bored.
I've been able to break him free of whatever's taken hold of him there, though the affliction seems to keep coming back.
That figures. He was the dreaded guardian of the gates. What, you think he'd let you pass just the one time and never try to block you again?
Fair call.
I was hoping he would, yes.
Not too bad.
Skelly has Commander Skellimaeus has an interesting relation with Cerberus in that he's made of bones and Cerberus is a dog. They don't interact.
Let's go for more burning.
Sure.
Burninating the countryside. Burninating the Titan.
Deep breath.
To the
My
surface.
curse. I feel alright.
You're not supposed to be up here, are you? don't think your dad's permitted that hooked up, at least.
Hestia.
But you're a witch. Must be you've got your cures for everything under the sun.
So, associating witchcraft and pharmakos, the medicine of the ancient world, a traditional association, albeit not always the same thing. I've mentioned this before, but just to reiterate, like, everyday housewives were expected to be able to do some amount of pharmakia, and actual, like, spells and witchcraft were the domain of practitioners, witches. So we've got some very sad shades sitting around while presumably their bodies attack you, zombie fashion. Is that a gold?
Few entrances into the underworld exist, and one of them is through the Acheron, whose accursed waters bear the weight of all the woes of mortal kind.
Okay, so this is implied to
If our foes
be.
can use this as an exit, so can I.
This is implied to be along the Acheron, one of the 5 rivers of the underworld. You know, it makes a certain amount of sense. But what the Acheron has to do with any place above the surface is more questionable. So we also have up here these sort of bird enemies, maybe carrion.
Definitely
Carrion
carrion
birds.
birds.
Underworld, young lady, but I do know this changes everything. You could help us defend this fountaintop. Help we could use, even I must admit.
Now that's a thing you'll never see in the mythology. Zeus admitting he needs help.
It's gonna hurt, but, well, it's gonna be costly.
Some moss.
But it's also gonna be very useful.
Ophira's main square.
Into Aphira.
Oh, right. I need an incantation for that. What do we got?
Hearts.
That's always useful.
Double hearts.
Shade were trapped within that pylon there.
So you see that what is that, a dodecahedron?
Yep.
Still in their shades.
So the way that the city of Aphira is portrayed here is there are various regions of the city that have been filled with shades that are trapped into a dodecahedron to help create a barrier that prevents Milinoe from traversing out into the
All
world.
the barrier is down. Must have been that pylon I destroyed.
And you can see there the
Still
reflection.
want 5 more to go.
You have to destroy 6 of them. There are more than 6 available. I did want to... if you look at that statue just south of you, this is clearly a statue of Hades. It doesn't look much like the Hades that we know from the game, right? It's not designed very much like him in sort of feature. He doesn't have his characteristic beard, although that may just be broken off. He isn't, you know, in the upright posture that we associate even with Hades bound and chained. But he has his bident, his
Although
spear.
it's not forked the same way.
Yeah.
Like that one is sort
Right.
of crossed just like his beard.
Right. So, and then we see Cerberus by his side. So this is a fascinating exercise in interpretation, right? If a city knows the characteristics of the god, but cannot see the god, how does it come out? And so this is sort of a nice design nod to that idea of different portrayals of the divine and of mythology based on what is known and what is given artistic license.
So let's see, we have Hephaestus, Hermes, Zeus, magic. I might need the magic.
Daedalus.
Hammer, Demeter. Oh, Demeter's good.
More Hestia.
Lady.
about those big guys with the barrels, but I did want to talk about those caskets, right? Because those look like sarcophagi, right? They look like the Egyptian-style caskets that are built in stone, meant to last. But they're not very representative, and what they do is they raise the zombies. And so it's a very strange sort of, it's almost more architectural than it is casket. And certainly a summoning token of some kind. The line between divine power and magic is very interesting in this game, which is to say, it's ill-defined. Oh, we have some more statues.
Let's get you
First, let's free a shade. So here we have 3 statues of Kuroi, male youths, pictured here with a fish and a staff. Not a very traditional style of statue, not a very traditional style of clothing for a statue for Greece. Typically you would see clothing tighter into the body. A stance, usually with 1 foot forward, is very common. A focus on the male form. Male beauty was considered very important and the highest form of architectural design, or sculptural design. And we don't often see, like, carrying fish, especially not like that. No one would carry a fish like that in the real world, right? That's like a plushie of a fish, right? So here it's meant more for emphasis, I think, than anything else. But what it does tell us is that this is a fishing town, that it's on the ocean, which we will find out after we break this barrier for sure. And we do have representations of youths with fish and with their own catches. There's actually a very famous wall painting from Santorini, from Akrotiri, which is not the same culture as this exactly, but like it feeds into it. It's a place where fishing was a necessary part of daily activity, and we have this wall painting of a young man with fish, and he's carrying actually like a bundle of each one on a string hanging down, and he's almost completely bare with just a loincloth. And so I would have expected to see something more like that here, but it's been sort of dialed up, I think, to match a more classical feel. I don't know, I find that very interesting. Also, it's unusual for there to be identical statues like this. If you have, like, caryatids, they tend to be not identical, but similar.
And it looks like they were designed to originally support something, sort of like, what is the term, Telemon? Like, I know caryatid is the female version. Yeah, I don't know offhand. Huh. I haven't seen one in a long time. That's an interesting question. Maybe I'll look it up. But at this point, there's nothing other than that cloth that's hanging from them.
Right, and it's funny because that cloth looks very intentional too. Like, maybe they designed it to put something over it and then didn't, or it fell and they redid it. Oh, okay, yeah, known as an atlas or sometimes a telemon. Atlas because, of course, Atlas the Titan was cursed to hold up the sky on his back for all of time, so he is holding up the world, and so if you have a male figure holding up the roof, of course you would call that an atlas, why wouldn't you? Fire and ice. An eidolon. Interesting to call those eidolon. So, eidolon, it just literally means an image, right? We get our word idol from it, like a figurine. So I believe that's referring to those big eyeball chuckers, the blue ones. It's like got an eyeball for a torso, and then it's chucking eyeballs, and it's trailing its entrails like some of the others. So I wonder if it's named for the pun. Just I and Eidolon.
My understanding was your line could scarce survive beyond the reaches of the underworld. Yet there you are, traipsing about as though not bound by your father's fate. How can this be?
Must be very happy for Demeter, actually, since she misses her line dearly and is a cold, if doting, grandmother.
Why am I doing this? I don't have the ability where this matters.
Doing what?
Trying to get different status effects.
Oh, I see.
There is an Arcana.
Oh wait, can you go back for a second? I want to look at those dead sheep. Look at the little sheep ghosties! I really find this intriguing because we see a lot of different dead creatures in the surface world. We see dead humans, and we clearly have human shades. We see dead sheep, and we have the little tiny sheep ghosties. But when we see dead fish, there's no ghost. That's the division between, you know, what animal has a soul and what doesn't is sort of a fraught question for Christianity. Not so much for the Greeks. Animals did not have spirits. So the fact that the sheep have little shades is kind of funny. Ooh, what are these stabby guys? Oh yes, if you free the shades, they'll also help you, which is nice. Trying to get a read on the stabby guys. They appear to be skeletal, but I think they're stabbing with swords, not bones, like I initially thought.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be mercenaries of some form.
Fascinating. Okay, yeah, so you see those dead fish, no indication that there's anything more to them. I just find that a fascinating choice. Do you know what these guys are named? The barrel guys? Barrel chuckers.
All right.
Only thing floating above those fish is flies.
Alright. 2 left. I already have 3 gods. I'm going to hold off on getting a 4th.
You'll be out in no time, Shades.
Well, Hephaestus does give good defense.
Oh yes, so one thing I did want to mention about freeing the shades here is it goes back again to that idea of, like, you know, Kronos supposedly ruled over the golden age of mortals, and he keeps saying that, you know, he's going to return that to mortals, but we see that he's destroyed the people of this town and imprisoned their shades for his own purposes. His purpose is war with the gods, not defense of people.
Exactly what you did, or maybe Hank, but you seem much more yourself than last I saw. That's great, because to make it all this way, you're going to need every bit of strength and speed.
Imagine calling Hecate by a nickname, and then realize that that's in fact exactly what people did, because that is where the name Kate actually comes from.
There's a spring in my step.
Now if you look to the north up there, you'll see the actual human bodies just around. That is pretty new for this game, right? Because, you know, down in the underworld, the bodies are long gone, right? No one who's already dead can truly die.
Yeah, the only ones you see are the satyrs and the rats in the Temple of Styx.
Right. So when there's gore, it's clearly vermin. But But up here, Kronos and his goons really have killed a bunch of humans, and we can see the evidence of that. Yay, Hephaestus. Another thing that's sort of a nod to the video game-ness of this town is that, of course, there aren't that many different statues. There's really the two. There's the Hades statue, which we've seen several times, and the Fisherman statue, which is everywhere in different sizes.
The most important thing to know is whatever happens to you there, I cannot be held liable. I work weapons, not miracles.
That is nonsense. All of the gods can work miracles, or none of them can, depending on how you interpret the word miracle. Now, most of Hephaestus's miracles are weapon-based, but he also created Pandora and her box. Those aren't, well, arguably weaponized, but not directly weapons. And he certainly can grant boons. But yeah, just if you saw that giant fisherman statue at the top of that square, I thought that was kind of funny.
Barriers down.
Okay, barriers down. And outward we go. We find a shop, because where water is, Charon is too. Which is not true in the Greek world, that's just true in this game. Usually he's only on the sticks.
What a ribeye.
There's a dot up to the... yeah.
A lonesome, dusty path from the necropolis exhibits much of the decay within, yet provides comfort of a sort to all the many simple shades nearby, with nowhere left to go.
We'll find you a new home.
More sheep shades.
More sheep shades.
May I?
How shameful that we now resort to common subterfuge. Having our correspondence smuggled to and fro by the erstwhile boatmen of the dead.
Charon is not the usual messenger of the gods to go into the underworld. That would actually be Hermes, generally speaking. But he's busy. So.
Life or death. You've come to aid me even here, Lord Charon. Though I imagine not even you can travel much farther where I'm headed. I won't forget your generosity.
Here he is!
You frighten my sheep. That's a real no-no in this town.
Here we have the Cyclops Polyphemus.
I can pay.
He's a little bit obsessed with eyes.
Getting eaten alive by me. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
That seems unusually strict. There's no use following a senseless code of law.
Also, I just want to point out that the sheep on his back is alive. It's blinking.
And I get real tired. Only eating sheep.
So you can see in his depiction here, he is blind. He has a band over his eye, with an evil eye depicted on it, and his whole getup, including the tattoos on his chest, are very reminiscent of evil eye designs that you see all over, really sort of the Eastern Mediterranean. It does happen in Greece, but it's more associated with other cultures in the region. But it's especially, it's a really good match for Polyphemus, I hear both. Because, of course, this is the Cyclops that Odysseus encountered, and when his men were starting to be eaten by the Cyclops, he resorted to getting him drunk so he could blind him. So Polyphemus lived on an island with a bunch of other Cyclopes. They were listed as they were noted as children of Poseidon, and this is part of why Poseidon sent Odysseus astray for those 10 years. Of course, all of that was in Odysseus' own telling, so no notion how real all that was even in the most canon version we have. I'm using a lot of scare codes. Oh, you got him pretty fast.
And stay down.
You see he's only sleeping. This is a nod to the fact, I mean, not only is it, we're going to have to fight him again if we come this way, but it's also a nod to the way he was defeated by Odysseus, getting him so drunk that he couldn't be awakened. And he was a shepherd. He kept a flock of sheep. So here he is keeping the live sheep. He tends to his flock. He is protective of his flock of sheep. He does eat them sometimes, obviously. But he's not the one who went out and killed all those sheep out there. He wouldn't do that. When you came in, he said, you scared my sheep and that's a no-no. I love having Polyphemus as sort of our barrier and this sort of quasi-antagonistic interaction with him. So you see, I'll just briefly describe, we saw for a second there his kitchen, which is A, disgusting, but B, there was a sheep roasting and also a pile of men on a chopping board.
A harbor.
So we have a harbor. Oh! A kitty!
Yes, that is Ansha.
Hello, kitty!
You lost, little one.
Oh, giving the pets.
Ran off.
That's what kitties do. Before you move on, I just want to. Oh well.
More ships risen from the depths, all headed for Olympus.
So Kronos has raised some ships to go and fight against Olympus. We see flags of Kronos everywhere, all over Ephyra, just draped over things. You see these lanterns are sort of death and depths adjacent. So the candle holders are all tentacles, and the lanterns are like eye patch skulls with tentacles. These are not Greek at all. These are just, the way we kind of associate sort of deathly colors that we've established in the series, plus like tentacles. You've got like these bottles with octopi on them, and octopi, I can't believe I used the Roman plural. Anyway, but like octopuses on everything, yes, but the full octopus, they don't separate the tentacle out. So we have like this wreck of a ship, clearly raised from the dead. It's got bits of Titan iconography all over it. The cat, I did want to talk about the cat. You can go on. The cat, so the ancient Greeks did know of cats because they knew Egypt. Cats were not native to the Mediterranean coast, the northern Mediterranean coast. You do have words in ancient Greek for both cat and lion, but neither of them are local. And lion could apply to any large cat. And I don't know. I think the word for house cat, ailuros, is pretty late.
I think though, I seem to remember that in at least like the Bronze Age or so, that there actually were lions native to parts of Europe.
Yes, northern Europe. There were. I don't know if they were lions, but there were big cats. I think there were some kind of panther, actually, if I recall correctly. Before you move on, whatever. So you see that fire that exploded across the deck. If you've ever heard of Greek fire, this is, I think, intended to be that. Now, Greek fire comes from much later than we think of, like, sort of ancient Greece. This is, you know, well into Roman times. I can't remember exactly when. I did look it up.
It was the Byzantine
Yeah,
Empire.
that's right. It was the Byzantines. And it's basically burning pitch. It's sticky. It doesn't go out with water. It is an absolute terror on ships, right? Because it'll burn down your ship and you'll be left with nothing but the ocean. But I love that they're using it because we have this association. We still call it Greek fire, right? And so having it around and having it not consume the ships because they're arisen from the depths with Titan power anyway is kind of amazing. I kind of love it. I love the design of these ships. It's nonsensical, but I love it.
Olympus, I accept this message.
So, anyway, so cats were known in ancient Greece for sure, but they weren't everyday sights. You know, it was kind of associated with Egypt, with Bast worship, or with the terror of lions, the ultimate hunter's bane. Yeah, I'm just distracted by the sea monsters and the design of these ships. It's wonderful, isn't it? You have these little guys made of spears throwing spears, and these guys with giant anchors that are, you know, they're all sea monster-like. Nothing particular to do with Greek mythology.
I think the big guys are actually called anchors.
Oh yeah, and these barrels. They're like jack-in-the-boxes that'll kill you. What else was I on about? Oh yes, cats. I'm always on about cats. So let's see what else. So cats really did spread actually with Bast worship. So the first time that you really see a large spread of house cat sized cats, of domesticated cats, it's not that they were, you know, brought in to control mice. That doesn't seem to correspond much with their spread. I just watched a really great video on this recently on the new studies about cat genetics.
They do end, and you have means to quickly cut across. I shall watch you sail on and help you make haste.
So the moon herself guiding us across the waters towards Mount Olympus.
Total eclipse.
Of the heart. So yeah, so really it was when Rome adopted Bast worship, they brought house cats along with them, and then as they conquered, they sort of spread out, and then cats kind of got traded down along the Silk Road to the east. Now there are other domesticated cats that came from more steppe-based cats oh, harpies, hello! So these are sort of traditional harpies, with the faces and chests of women, of human women, and then the wings and claws and attitudes of birds. I'd love to see that.
Olympus, I accept this message.
So yeah,
Here we go.
they do seem to have sort of been domesticated a little bit in sort of the steppe area for a while, but they didn't really spread from there. And then they interbred with the Egyptian cats.
Return to shadow now.
The surface is no place for you, my girl.
What would you know? Aren't you the one who captured the Fates in order to try and circumvent them? Rude.
Winter.
just got hit by a couple of spears.
I used to dream of sailing on the surface seas, but not like that.
Hey.
That was kind of a fun comment from Selene, right? The, you know, the waters must seem endless, because Malinois has never seen an ocean. There are no oceans beneath the surface, only rivers.
She does pass through Okeanos, but that's
true, but
under
she doesn't.
The sea.
Yeah, she doesn't really go into the waters. She does complain about the stink.
You know my stance on this, Dora. You need to get out of this tent. You're very talented. I've never met a shade that speaks like you.
That's not true at all. Odysseus is a shade.
Ooh, I can talk. Makes me so special. I'm sure any lowly shade could do it after being stuck here listening to you people long enough.
Or you could teach them.
Nah.
Dora is so funny.
I dreamt of Father once again, when Kronos came for him, and you took me to safety. Except this time, I remained there longer than before.
'Tis more than a dream, of course. And what else did you learn whilst you lingered thus?
I learned Kronos wanted for Father to tell him where to locate the three fates. Kronos hates them, or feels threatened by them. He's been searching for them all this time, hasn't he? And finally found them.
Which means they may not take our side if forced to choose. I feared as much. I didn't wish to lend the possibility my voice. Well, this certainly fits the spirit of the news Swift Hermes relayed when he spurred us to act. Something real bad, I believe were his words.
Real bad. Yes.
Yes.
Aha.
Looks like you could summon a colony of bats. The bats are what let you see around Ethera without having to run around. Can borrow their eyes. That'd be neat, right? Well, ears, I guess? Bats don't really have good eyes.
And hear the city of the dead. So mote it be.
I can't remember if I've talked about the conjugation of mote. Mote in So Mote It Be is a fossilized, which is to say, we wouldn't use this term nowadays, we don't. But it is a fossilized form of might. It's the past participle.
Past tense?
Yes. Sorry. Brain just blanked for 2 seconds. So it has that inherited Indo-European ablaut, you know, like right, rote, might, mote. We don't use that anymore. It's fallen out of favor. It's such an uncommon use case, right? But here we have it, a past tense for you know, a past hope. May it have been so, sort of thing. So I just wanted to point that out, that So Mote It Be is proper English from a time past in a form that we would actually recognize if we still, you know, it's not actually all that far from what we still use. But let's talk to Eris.
I don't get you people, honestly. So set on making things the way they used to be. You, especially. You don't even know what you're missing.
We're trying to set things right, not make them how they used to be. Though, what's your point, Eris?
Those two things can be very, very different, can't they?
What's my point? What's your point? All of you are so obsessed with there being a point to everything. You do know there isn't one, don't you? Can't just let loose and have a good time?
Different takes on existentialism.
Not under the present circumstances, no.
She does seem to be forgetting the whole kidnapped my family and made me an orphan bit. Also the thousands of dead mortals. But who cares about that, right?
I can't remember if I've...
You have plenty.
Look, I do want you to feel welcome here and safe. It's not just something that we say. May this gift of nectar show my words are true.
Wow, made with real golden apples. Thanks, babe. You're the only one who's made a real effort to bring me into the fold. Say, why don't you take this? It isn't much, but I've been holding on to it in case I found a friend.
Oh, this really isn't necessary, but, thanks.
A discordant bell. Very like her.
I was watching Hades 2 speedrun from GDQ, Games Done Quick, and the runner was talking about like whether Eris was NB, and the consensus was that if you asked Eris, she would probably identify as a problem.
Yes, I concur. I think that is correct. I will note that does answer the question, because that is neither male nor female. Neither man nor woman. So, I would guess, yes. Like so many of the gods, in so many ways, gender fluid.
Tough times.
The game does consistently refer to Eris as she.
It's true. It's true.
Demanded that my father tell him where the fates reside.
Smart. Mother Nyx never would have told him. The fates may be my sisters, but even I have no idea where they are. Long as they're hidden, no one can mess with their designs.
You don't sound especially concerned that Kronos apparently found the three Weavers of Destiny and may be forcing their plans for the future.
Really? Did I ever give you the impression I had any hope this would end well?
How could he have found them? Wouldn't the fates see the threat coming?
They're always weaving. That means even they know only so much in advance. Kronos is time. Time moves faster than expected.
My mortal enemy.
How did it go? How was the surface? Still warm and welcoming, I reckon? You're to be commended for even setting foot up there.
It was dreadful. The city of Aphira is completely overrun, and there's a blind Cyclops making sure no one gets out.
Well, that all sounds entirely unfortunate. That blind Cyclops must be Polyphemus. My crew and I once had a bad run-in with him. He's still going on about eating people.
He is.
Is right.
Are you ready? Some wheat.
Polyphemus, by the way, if you break it down, Polu, many, much. Famous, spoken of, much famed.
What time do we have?
It is 5 till 4.
So probably not time for another run.
Probably not time for another full run, no. I think we'll keep it.
To the surface didn't last so long, young one. Life's hard up there and always gonna be. Not like your cushy underworld.
Cushy.
I'm not accustomed to it yet. Everything's intensified. Whenever I fail to evade a foe, I feel it even more.
Well, you're not gonna have an easy time.
It's true, they were hitting pretty hard up there.
It does kind of make sense when you're embodied versus when you're in the underworld as a shade.
You made it safe and sound.
You get to say hi to the shades that you send back to safety. Always good. Oh, what does the discordant bell do? So, more damage all around. Sounds like Eris, yeah.
So, it's... I never use it. It seems like it is...
Bad news bears?
It just seems like it's a wash. Because, you know, if you're not taking damage, that's fine, but I generally tend to take damage.
Yeah, I hear there are strategies based around dodging everything and just building ridiculous offense. I don't play these kinds of games, which is why Tortoise is playing for me, but I can't imagine. Well, I think that's where we will end for today then. Thank you folks for coming along. I hope that you had an enjoyable time. I hope that you learned something. And if you have any questions, always let me know. We will not be able to do streaming next week, and I think not the week after either, sadly. But we will return with more Hades 2 and give you some more interesting news as we can. I hope you're all doing well. I'm staying as safe as you reasonably can and doing as much as you reasonably can. Remember to put on your own mask before helping others, because you have to. There's nothing else for it. But also remember that helping others is an imperative. Alright, lovelies, thank you for coming along. We will see you in a couple of weeks. And, hey, keep learning, friends.